Let's not waste any time, okay? We have a lot of Batman trailers to go through, every single one, all the way from 1943, coming all the way to our new Batman for 2021. We got a lot of trailers to go over, a lot of Batmans, a lot of villains. Let's get into it. So this trailer gives us everything you'd expect to see in a 1943 Batman trailer. We start with some old-fashioned music, and then we get right into meeting characters like Batman and Robin. Strangely enough, though, we get two random characters, including the fiendish, traitorous Daka. Daka is, of course, Japanese because when these series were made, the United States were still involved in World War II, in which Japan was one of their enemies. The trailer does a good job, though, of setting everything up, but in a strange decision, it ends with Batman falling to his death. Kind of a weird thing, guys.
Become the indomitable aces of courage, Batman and Robin.
Our next film was made just 6 years after the last, and here we open up on Batman, who looks kind of bored in the Batcave. Robin comes up to him to wake him up, and from there we get some cool action shots that show off some pretty solid effects for the 40s. We then get our first instance of what many think the Adam West Batman created, but that's the classic pows and bams appearing when Batman fights. This trailer is pretty similar overall to the last, and even strangely enough, why does this one also end with Batman falling to his death and killing him? Like, seriously, what is up with that?
As Batman and Robin battle for justice in the adventure of the century.
Emergency. Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news. The biggest. Tell them, Robin.
A whopping 17 years later, we finally get to our classic Adam West Batman, and his trailer's kinda weird. The whole thing is just Batman and Robin breaking the fourth wall to advertise their movie.
That's right, Robin. Our first full-length motion picture feature in color opens a whole new world of thrills.
We then get these little character intros for characters like the Riddler, Joker, Penguin, and Catwoman. Honestly, this is my favorite part of the trailer because these actors are just having a blast with these roles. As far as Batman and Robin, though, I can't help but feel a little weirded out. I don't think breaking the fourth wall really works that well for Batman. I can't really tell how trailers were back in the day, but this one is just kind of weird. And once again, it has this strange ending. It kind of just ends out of nowhere.
Memoranda, folks. Make a note not to miss it.
Good thinking, Robin.
23 years later, and we get our first trailer for the old classic Batman. This trailer shows right away that it is a much darker and grounded movie. The trailer does a good job of showing off characters, and it gives us one of the most famous lines.
What are you? I'm Batman.
The one thing that's kind of weird about it, though, is that most of the trailer's kind of silent. Like, these movies have awesome music, but this trailer's just quiet. It's weird.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
Overall, though, the trailer is cool, and it clearly shows the tonal change that would go on to be commonplace in these Batman movies. Well, I mean, most of these movies.
My life is really complex.
I've been down here too long. It's time for me to ascend.
From the sewers of Gotham.
Doubling down the dark tone, Batman Returns gives us another pretty dark depiction of the Bat. It's pretty cool because we get a voiceover guy doing a nice narrating voice, and we don't really get that a lot in trailers nowadays. I like that this trailer doesn't spend too much time on Batman, and instead it focuses on Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and of course, the legendary Penguin, played by the legend Danny DeVito. This marks the second time we've seen both of these characters, and it's safe to say that they've changed a lot. Although Catwoman does have the same perfect line.
Oh, you're going to see the perfect crime when I get Batman in my claws.
The perfect enemy comes to life.
I personally think this trailer is a lot more epic than the last, and it's probably because it utilizes the awesome score. We get some awesome music for an overall pretty entertaining trailer. But then again, everything with Danny DeVito is just awesome.
You missed.
Coming out a year later in 1993, Batman Mask the Phantasm brings the dark, gritty tone of the last two Burton films to the animated format. The trailer is quick and to the point and shows off all it has to offer. It shows us a new villain, some good animation, and one of the best Jokers of all time played by Mark Hamill. The trailer obviously takes a lot of inspiration from the last two Burton films, and that's not a bad thing at all. The music is awesome, and with this trailer being only about a minute long, it does a pretty good job.
A soaring new adventure. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
In 1995, we get the trailer for Batman Forever, a film with a new Batman and a few crazy villains.
Let's start this party with a bang!
I think this trailer is kind of subpar in my opinion because it does a few things I'm not a fan of. For example, it shows the entire plot of the movie, including the Riddler becoming the Riddler and Robin becoming Robin. For a trailer that is 3.5 minutes long, that is a long trailer. It does a lot of strange stuff, and I don't think it's put together that well. Like, for example, there's a few times where they kind of just cut from this awesome music back to the silent, weird scenes. It's kind of weird. I do love Jim Carrey though, and here we get our second interpretation of the Riddler. It's a very whatever trailer, but it's not like the worst thing ever, right?
My name is Freeze. Learn it well.
2 years later, we would get Batman and Robin with another new Batman played by George Clooney. We get the classic voiceover who shows us our new villains, as well as the greatest villain of all, bad dialogue.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. Ken.
Unfortunately, this trailer, just like the last one, shows us the entire story. It shows us Batgirl becoming Batgirl, joining the team, and I'm not a fan of that. As bad as this trailer is, though, it's not nearly as bad as the movie itself. Like, there are some things I actually think are kind of cool. I mean, the lighting's cool, right? And so is the sets. The set design's pretty sweet, but the music is always pretty solid. Being the last Batman movie we would get for 8 years, the next film in the franchise saw this and really decided to do something new with it.
Guess we'll just have to kill her. Yep. Batman and Robin.
Tell us, Mr. Wayne. What do you fear?
Establishing very on a return to the dark and grounded Batman films of old, Batman Begins in 2005 shows us a new version of the Bat. We get Liam Neeson, Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, and an all-around pretty new and awesome cast introduced. I like this trailer because it gives us what we want to see without giving us everything. We get Scarecrow, who's a new villain we've never seen before, and we also get some really cool action. It's a solid trailer that's trying to find out the tone it's going for, so it hits a little bit of everything. Overall, though, pretty solid trailer. 3 years later, we would get The Dark Knight, a film many consider to be one of, if not the best Batman films to date. We get an awesome Joker laugh as well as this crazy shot of a hospital exploding. We then meet Harvey Dent, we get some Bruce and Rachel drama, and from there on out, Joker takes over the show. Heath Ledger really does shine in this trailer, as well as Christian Bale. We get some amazing shots of the characters, and it really does show early on how good this film was going to be. It's a great movie with a great trailer, one of the best in my opinion. However, 4 years later, we would get a trailer that I think might even be better.
I'm gonna give it to him. No!
Can you see by the dawn's early...
Starting off with a young child singing and Alfred talking to Bruce, The Dark Knight Rises does a great job of setting everything up. Not even halfway through this trailer, and I'm interested in Gordon and Alfred and Catwoman and of course Bane. The tone of this trailer is just awesome too. I like the kids singing echoing throughout the trailer while the prisoners are getting released, and then we cut to the football game, and then we cut to Bruce in the jail. It's just overall awesome. We then get our first hard cut to black, and then the awesome shot of the field falling apart. Bane is instantly set up as a threat, and we're invested in almost every single other character also. It's shot well and edited to perfection, making this personally probably my favorite Batman trailer.
Today is a day for truth.
4 years later, and we would get a new Batman, this time played by Ben Affleck, and this one is going to try to go into the DCEU to be like with Man of Steel and Superman and Justice League and all that stuff. We see Batman during the events of Man of Steel, and I personally really like this trailer also. They kind of do a copy with Dark Knight Rises with the ominous singing in the background, but it's still kind of cool. I love how this trailer sets Batman up. It shows him to be like crazy with his burned logo into that guy. It's pretty cool. We also get some cool Superman shots as well as some good music. We see Jesse Eisenberg, and it doesn't really do anything to convince us that he's gonna be a good Lex Luthor, but he's not really that bad and he's not in the trailer that much. Overall, this trailer is also pretty solid.
Arkham Asylum. Quickest route. No freeways. Computer, do you hear me?
This trailer is funny. Straight up, I think it's a really funny trailer. We get to see Lego Batman played by Will Arnett and an introduction to Robin played by Michael Cera. This trailer does a pretty good job of poking fun at Batman while somehow managing to keep Batman dark. It's kind of like if Batman was stuck in this serious dark movie, but everything else wasn't, and he was the only one that kind of saw it like that. That's pretty much all I have to say, though. It's a pretty funny trailer, and it's a pretty funny movie.
Gently ease out of here. Real gentle like.
Lastly, we get the trailer for our new Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. I personally love Matt Reeves after his work with the Planet of the Apes franchise, and I love the tone he's going for in this film. We get our third Riddler, our third Catwoman, and our third Penguin. Paul Dano is a great actor, and I love how he plays Riddler in this trailer. It gives off so many Seven vibes and just like film noir kind of crime stuff. I also have to give props to whoever did that makeup for Colin Farrell because he looks nothing like how he does in real life. We get some great shots, some cool action, and I'm pretty hyped.
I'm vengeance.
Looking back on every trailer, I'm probably going to rank them like this. This is in no way any ranking for how I would rank the movies as far as how good they are themselves, kind of just the trailers. All of these trailers are on YouTube, so you can check them out if you want. Thanks for watching. Like the video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.